Hello, welcome to Today in TV Reviews Episode 1. I'm your host, Dominic Parry, and with me today is...
Harry Gibbons.
So, Harry, today we're going to be discussing Rick and Morty Season 4. Now, what's your kind of initial thoughts on this series?
Right, so I came into Rick and Morty, obviously it started in 2013, and I sort of came into it at around, I think, 2015. I was still at secondary school, and I binged Season 1 and 2.
I came in at college, so probably a little bit after that.
Oh, decent. But was that around the same season, just before Season 3?
Yeah, it was in the gap between Season 2 and 3.
Because that was long, wasn't it? That was ages.
It was 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's when the most of, and it all started becoming very, very
you got all
interesting, and then
people.
The toxic ones.
Cases.
So I was as sort of an opinion of it. I really do like the series as a continuation. I'm not sure it quite knew what it wanted to be for the whole of it.
I think Season 4 has really come into its own.
Oh, definitely.
It had more emotion to it, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a problem. It felt a bit too kind of these characters don't have a mission, but
the last from Series 1, which was completely serialized. We had but there was a process. It was him becoming an adventurer with his granddad, and then Season 2 had it was leading up to the wedding of Bird Person.
Oh,
but then Season 3 turned fully episodic. It was every episode doesn't matter. Whatever happened in that episode is cancelled. It never really happened. Do you know what I mean? It sort of acted like there was no carryover emotion or anything.
Thing is, the last scene of Season 4, where it's just Rick,
damn, it's
I
really am spoilers obviously, but I really am a shitty parent or whatever it was like that.
I'm a bad fit. It's you can after watching just that episode, it hits, because it's not just a I'm a bad dad. It's a kind of step to realizing that he is a bad person.
Because he said, I'm a bad father, I'm a bad father, you shouldn't be listening to me right now and all this. And he uses it as the crux of his nothing matters, we're all here, there's infinite universes, nothing really matters. But knowing that he's basically Rick is slowly learning that his family matters, and that the fact that he's living this life of, I don't really care, it's affected them, they've got over it, they're now bigger people than he is, because he just gives no regard until almost that last moment.
It literally is. It actually, this entire season has been dealing with stuff that's bigger and smaller.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode where he goes and hunts a guy down for using his toilet.
Yeah.
And then there's another,
using a toilet.
And there's another episode where he fights Zeus.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's kind of him coming to realize I do all this stuff because I want to be bigger than I am.
Yeah. It's a search for... he literally kills a god. Well, he doesn't kill, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
obviously, his children, the product of... his grandchildren, the product of, what he's been teaching and, giving to them by just diffusion of being around an asshole who doesn't care about anything. They defeated a god, and Rick's there bringing them into these problems, and it's a very really nice arc for the series to go, and I'm very interested to see what else they do in their 60 commissioned episodes that they've got left.
Yeah, but I was thinking about it. There's 2 episodes in this season that have Morty doing stuff to basically get a nice future.
Yeah,
which the first episode where he has the death crystal or whatever it is.
Oh my god, yeah,
and he's guided by it, and then you have the save button episode.
In the vat of acid.
Where he's saving it and he's going back, And it's very much a similar kind of idea of he wants to be, he wants to have fun and, be happy.
Just to be normal, isn't it,
but
really?
It's different. It's really different, because in the first episode, it's really quite he's doing bad stuff because it's going to get him this goal.
Yeah.
Whereas
it was so shallow, because it's Jessica who basically has no interest in she has no interest in him at all.
No. And then we move to the actual one where he has something that kind of enables him to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the downfall.
And he has to live with that now. Because that's what Rick made. Yeah. Like, all of them now happened to basically his consciousness. So he's lived this life, and...
They're really good, like... really good growth kind of things, that.
Definitely.
Like, it's smart. From
if you take the last episode as well, for like the story perspective of everyone, at least at one point in that final episode, Starmore, Rick Turn of the Jerry, mentions the fact that they've either been on an arc or completed an arc, be it like crap or like, you know, meaningless. It's like Jerry learns that he could save the day by making a puppet of Tammy, and Beth literally says to him, "Oh, so that's your arc."
Like, it's a very on the nose thing.
Yeah.
And the only arc that matters is Rick, which we don't get until the end when you have that single line.
Yeah.
But it's something he's really in the background been building to.
Since episode 1.
Episode 1.
Series 1. Yeah.
So the old man see the heist episode was like that was a kind of
I mean, this is a little bit in that one. Morty's storyline in that is exactly what you've said. He just wants to be able to write a heist film for a Netflix deal. He's going for that life that he doesn't have with Rick again, and it gets snatched from him. And
then you get the dragon episode. Morty wants a dragon. Rick does it. It goes bad.
Yeah.
You know, Morty gets bitten by a snake, and then they have to do time travel.
It's like Prometheus. Prometheus really shows that it's Rick and Morty who both get like taken over by the aliens, but it's Morty they choose as their leader, and you know
the Vat of Acid episode.
Oh god.
Oh.
That shows that Morty's finally almost waking up to the frailties and flaws in sort of Rick's way of living.
That's where it swaps.
Yeah. I mean, that line, obviously, the last line where he's like, "I really am a bad father," is...
No, I've just seen... In this season...
Yeah.
That's where this changes. Because the Vat of Acid episode is the only one that hasn't got a pun. Like a reference.
Oh, and then,
And then it goes back to the references.
So my favourite line in that whole of the episode is to do with that. It's where he's like, Morty's like, "Wait, so this wasn't even... You're not even my Rick?" And he just says, "Every Rick has a vat of acid." So it's like the flaw. Every Rick has got that flaw that Morty sees in every single dimension. Like how brutal is that?
It's such a dick move as well, isn't it?
So it's like it's set in stone forever that Morty will realise that Rick has a flaw, that he's very stubborn, and like, you know, the vat of acid is a bad idea, but he won't admit it to himself.
So just to...
And that's...
Just to kind of say... to quick go through, right? Edriff to Morty, Rick Pete, right? Episode 1. Morty is guided by a death crystal so he can die with Jessica. Meanwhile, Rick continuously dies trying to get back to his own reality. Simple. And parody. The Old Man in the Sea. Rick is furious to find a secret toilet facility in idyllic dimension that he's built for his own use is being used by an alien. Simple. One crew over the crew accused Morty. I hate these titles. They're so bad sometimes. On a treasure-seeking expedition in an alien temple, Rick and Morty discover that a heist expert snatched the prize from under their noses. That is literally like a heist movie.
Yeah, within a heist movie. Yeah, with all of the little conventions and everything.
Claw and Hoarder. Special Rick dims Morty. Rick promises Morty that he can get a new companion,
storyline as well.
A flying, fire-breathing dragon. Jerry meets a mysterious talking cat. That is such... That talking cat thing... what a weird thing, because that doesn't actually do anything in the story, does it?
But that's its purpose as well, because do you remember he's like, how come you can talk? And he's like, you don't need to know that. Like,
and then he gets killed at the end.
Yeah, oh God.
Rattlestar Rick Lactica. Can you guess by the name Rattlestar what it's going to be about?
So clever.
So he gets bitten by snakes, and then they have to go and dress up as snakes. never Rick and Morty. That's the story, Lord.
Yeah. A whole breakdown of Dan Harmon, the writers.
Did you see the circle?
Yeah, the circle with his own, structure of how things should be written.
I saw some real dick comments on that, like, oh, it's just called The Hero's Journey. It's like, but it isn't.
It's so different. Yeah, it's so different to The Hero's Journey.
It's really not, because, it's similar, but it's not. And you can see why, like, because of how long are the episodes? Are they 20 minutes?
Yeah, 20, 21, 22.
20, yeah, around that. But standard comedy, right? Keep that in your mind, episode length. So there's not usually a lot of growth in there.
Mm.
So when you have growth, it has to happen in seconds.
Yeah, literally.
Which is why he takes entire seasons for any growth, really.
Yeah.
And from a writing perspective, that's actually really impressive.
It's extremely impressive that he can do it so effectively whilst also not getting rid of the comedy or, not having forced moments.
It's not like... Because if a worse writer did this, you'd look back on it and go, that was shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was shit. Because the episodes didn't really lead up to that. But
no,
when you look into it, these episodes, it's like he's going over the top.
Yeah.
Like, throughout most of them. Like, it's impressive.
It's a hell of a thing.
It's crazy, but I think this is my favourite season of Rick and Morty.
Do you really? Yeah. See, that's an interesting... What would you give it on a sort of like out of 10? And
I think I'd say probably like an 8.5.
Damn.
I'd say, because I need to rewatch it, but like 8.5, I think.
It has some of the funniest moments as well.
I found it really easy to get into this season. The other seasons I did like kind of I was a bit like, why? Some of the episodes, honestly, I was like, why is this so like good? Yeah. Like, I mean, like, why do people think this is so great? Because I don't see it in some of these episodes. Like, I thought, oh, maybe it's just not not for me, But watching this season here, it's like, nah, that's, it's really good actually what he's done.
Totally, I agree.
But then you do get the fanboys who like,
will defend it to the end. You've just got to be critical.
You're not smart enough.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't think you've got a 300 IQ enough to watch this. Yeah, this is just obviously it's a shorter breakdown of what we thought of the season.
Yeah. What would you give out of 10?
Ooh, see, I'm glad there's a return to the serialized aspect instead of it just being out of randomness every week. Yeah. So for that, I think I'm going to give it probably an 8. I feel like my favourite season's still probably season 2.
I don't remember what happened in that.
It's been a while, but if you ever like see the clips from it, like usually they're from season 2. And I feel like I don't think it's peaked. I feel like this show's got so much left in it.
It has, but the thing is, like, I don't usually. This works more when there's not just the comedy.
Yeah,
because I've watched all of Archer, right?
Right.
And my mate was talking about it, and basically, I thought I'm going to watch it again. I watched the pilot earlier, so episode 1, and I was laughing a lot in it. And I don't think I've laughed that much at a Rick and Morty episode.
Interesting.
But when Rick and Morty has had like emotional moments, they're good emotional moments, and they're earned. Like, thing is, Morty's not a good person.
No.
Rick isn't a good person.
They're so flawed.
All of them are so bad. And that's why it's good.
Yeah.
So we're not looking at a hero's journey here. We're looking at a bunch of dickheads.
Slow redemption, aren't we? I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're not, because
I don't think we're going to.
In the end, could literally throw it and just go, well, Rick doesn't want to change because he can't.
I could see the writers doing. I could see him and the others doing that. Like, oh yeah, you thought we were going to go that route, but we're not. Yeah. Screw you guys.
And weirdly, it would also be earned as much as it would be to actually redeem them. Yeah. It's that's the credit of the show summed up, really. I guess.
I think the way he can, for a little bit of a end note on this, a way he could really, really like push this kind of like emotional thing at the end is if he just had Rick go like over the top, even more than he did.
Atrocious.
Yeah. So instead of facing his like guilt, he just goes and does like the biggest thing he can to get away from it, which would be very much in character.
I think, right, for the last thing here, place your bet what you think could be the ending of Rick and Morty. Not like literally, what do you think the last plot point could be? I've got one theory that I've always had, I think, since like maybe season 2.
I think...
And it's like depressing.
We haven't seen what happened to his wife, have we?
No.
I think maybe his wife, like, we could learn the story about her, maybe.
That could, yeah.
And that could be, like, the ending of the kind of, like, friendship between Rick and Morty.
True.
If, like, Rick did something that directly led to, like, her being, like, killed.
Which, in turn, is literally Morty's grandma. Like, that is rough.
And, yeah.
I think my theory always has been, like, sort of to end it is, I think Rick could leave again. And that would be the bittersweet, like...
What, leave the universe? Go to it? That would be, like...
That would be a killer, wouldn't it?
I think what would be great is if they did that and, like, end it on an emotional note.
Yeah.
And then, like, after the credits, you just see, like, the Earth getting destroyed. Because Rick's not there to defend it.
Yeah.
Because he has
too
been
good for...
He has been defending it.
He's a hero and a villain at the same time. Like, he's so complex.
So...
Yeah.
I think that'll do for this shorter review. Yeah. So go and watch the other videos on stuff. And goodbye.
Take care.